podcast, The Sea Doghouse. I'm your host, Pink W Kid. Here with me in the studio today is Talon.
Hey.
So, welcome back. This is episode 2. Made some changes. Hopefully, some good changes. Today, we are going to be talking about the pirate code and the code of conduct, and we're going to give our opinions on it, positives, negatives, what can be changed, what's necessary that's not in the code, what's in the code that's not necessary, yada yada yada. So I think what would be good is if actually we start by maybe watching a little bit of the um, announcement of the pirate code, which was made in 2017 at New York Comic Con, which, funny enough, is going on right now in New York. I think they had a panel at New York a couple hours ago. So I think we could start by watching that. We have a lot to go over, so I'm trying to go through this quickly. But we'll just show a little bit of the rules and exactly what some of these devs are thinking about. So just take a look, I guess.
So yeah, this is the first point, right? The sea equals to all. Like, everyone is welcome in Sea of Thieves. There is no space for discrimination for any reason. And anybody that behaves like this, they will not be allowed to play Sea of Thieves for much longer, right? It's like, genuinely, we will be kind of using all of the tools at our disposal to ensure as much as we can that this is a game for everybody. So there's something like Mike talked about, the magic of multiplayer. We believe so strongly in the potential for multiplayer. And by creating a game that isn't just about competition, it's more of a social playbox for people to come and role play as pirates. We believe that there's such an opportunity there to bring multiplayer to such a wider audience, to people that have maybe been put off before. And the sea unites us as one community. You don't have to drink, but
So
it's
looks like I
okay
skipped
if
a
you
rule,
want.
but we'll go over it later.
Community behavior is super important. Whether it's in your crew, the people you meet, or that you chat to on the forums and the Reddit, we are one community. And again, you should be respecting everybody else in there, respecting their opinions, respecting their voice, giving everybody a chance to kind of talk and have their opinions heard. And ultimately, if you have disputes, settle them up on the waves, right? We've got this amazing social pirate sandbox where you can actually go and kind of and settle them. But everything should be done in game, right? Use the game to settle scores, to settle your discussions. It's not about abusive behavior and communication and stuff.
Look how the three
And
people
all
sitting
crewmates
down
are equal.
at the table.
So
Look
again,
at
everyone
how
should have a voice, like Mike talked about
they
earlier.
just stare at the
Players
screen
will
like they've
vote on their
never seen it
voyages,
before.
so everybody's going to be able to get a chance to
And
put down their
extremely
kind of quest that they want to go and achieve.
unimpressed
But ultimately, it's the crew. That crew
Look
bond.
at
You guys are
them!
going to be deciding what it is that you want to go and achieve.
They're so
But
enthralled.
everyone is equal, right?
It's
People
acting.
vote on the voyages. They vote on sending people to the brig.
It's
It's a democracy, ultimately.
They're
And
looking at it
you've
like
probably
they've
heard
never
this phrase
seen it
quite a lot
before.
before, but the crew bond is sacred,
probably
right?
haven't.
And those that betray their crew and and ship through griefing, they will be sent to the brig. And I think that's a really important thing for us. And whether you've
Good
played
for them.
1,000
How many
hours
are there
or
on
you're new
this?
to the game, you should be able to
There's
play
only,
together.
like,
Again,
a
Mike
couple
talked
more.
about this, about breaking down boundaries. And so Sea of Thieves, we implore everybody that plays this
It's like
to
another
support
minute,
your fellow
don't worry.
players. If
my
you're
gosh.
experienced and you've played a lot and a new player comes and join, help them, guide them, teach them how to use the ship, teach them how to kind of do quests. But this should be a positive, welcoming environment, and it's all about the players. The players that are in there are so critical for us. And so, respect everybody that you play with. And then ultimately, those that cheat shall be punished.
Yeah, this is
right?
the last one.
Don't
Oh,
be a
thank
shit.
goodness.
Basically, is
He's so
the
boring to watch.
is the summary for that. But honestly, because we will, we have a customer service team. We'll be looking at trying to get reports out of that, and just don't be a shit in Sea of Thieves. Basically, that's the summary. We couldn't get that
It's
as the
crazy
name
this
of the talk.
came out 2 years ago.
So our pirate code. So
I feel
we've
like if I
posted this in our
played
community.
since launch,
We're seeing feedback. So
I
we
would
might
be
adjust.
way
we might-
more angry at the game.
are so
But
strong,
since
Probably.
I didn't, I'm
right?
okay
There's
with
something that we
it.
believe in so strongly as a team and as a game, right? So I'm going to be kind of wrapping up fairly soon, and then we'll get into some questions and ultimately some feedback around kind of the talk. But
Yeah. So actually, the rest of this interview, or not interview, but the Q&A doesn't really have to do much with the pirate code, but it's still like pretty interesting, and some of the questions that are asked are actually really funny, and I recommend watching this video. It's called Official Sea of Thieves Near Comic Con 2017 panel. It's pretty funny. um, but anyway, so yeah, there's only like six. So I'll pull up the pirate code here. Um, I don't know. What do you think about some of these rules? What's stick out to you? What do you like? What do you hate?
I think if we go through them one by one, we could just kind of state our opinion on them, really, because a lot of them are pretty repetitive.
Yeah. So Article 1, everyone is welcome in Sea of Thieves. Like, I don't know about you, but that just kind of seems like pretty obvious to me.
Yeah,
And
that's stupid.
I mean,
I mean, they're making their money on whoever pays for the game, so of course everybody's welcome. It's not like you could tell who anybody is online.
yeah, I just don't. I don't get like why they have to point this out. Like, there's people. Are there people out there that are like, oh, I want to play Sea of Thieves, but I don't know if I'm welcome. you know.
Exactly.
Um. So yeah, I think that Article 1, right, starting right off the bat, is just silly.
That's dumb.
um. Let me do some real quick. And then what about Article 2? Outside the heat of battle or piracy on the high seas, all crews shall bond together as a community of like-minded souls. Hmm.
Okay, well, pretty good example is like our Discord, right? So we have our Discord, there's other Discords. So when we're in game, we can hate each other and smack talk, but then when something bad happens to one of us, we all bond together, or bound together, back each other up. So I can kind of see that, but it should go without question. It shouldn't even be stated. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, it's talking about all crews. So,
Oh
like,
hell no.
exactly. Like, what if we have beef with some other crew that, I mean, it's not like, or they're not playing fairly, or, um,
I mean,
I don't know. Yeah, they're just being rude, and I don't know. It just seems like, do we have to bond together like a community?
no.
And
No,
it's
hell
like,
no.
no, no, say what you're gonna say.
I was gonna say once you have a beef with somebody, you have a beef with them forever. That's the way the game should be.
Yeah, I
There's
mean,
no way you should turn around. Well, that's not necessarily true with everybody, but like if somebody crosses us in a way that's unmendable, I'm not gonna just like virtually shake hands with them and be like, "It's okay, we're friends now because the match is over." No,
right. It just, I don't know. I mean, and again, I've had beef with people, and we've made amends, but there's some people that are not willing to make amends, I guess you would say.
that's fair.
So I don't know. And then that kind of goes into the third, Article 3, which again is just silliness, in my opinion. It's like, none shall quarrel. What? Like, you can't quarrel outside of the game?
So then why is there a report button? Because that's outside the game. That's the point.
Exactly. Um, but I think it does have a little bit of truth to it. I'll say that. Um, because if you're talking to a crew, whether it's on the forums, on Reddit, and then you're like, all right, let's see what you got. Let's go, right? Um,
Yeah.
then that could work. But there's some people that just won't do that. And it can be a little challenging to do. I don't know. Um, but it's just it's like, whatever. Okay, yeah. Why do we report people?
That's the whole point. Like it says, if you want to settle it on the waves, then settle it there. I've never once reported anybody, never probably will. There's no point. For one, I don't want to put my name out there so they know it. But for two, too many people are reporting stupid reporting. How many times have we been reported for cheating and unsporting and whatever else that you can get reported for?
Yeah,
But that's not
well,
settling it on the wave, so they're breaking their own code of conduct for reporting. So I should report them for reporting me. But then I'm breaking their rule right there. You're
yeah.
not settling anything on the waves by reporting anybody.
And we'll get more into like cheating and stuff like that in a minute, but yeah, it just whatever. Yeah, it doesn't make too much sense, but I get where they're coming from, and I think it's a good it can be it's like it's what they want, not necessarily what's going to happen. Um, but anyways, moving on. What are we at? 4. Yeah. So this one again. Let each crewmate be respectful as equal and free to follow their own bearing. Speak openly and vote in affairs of the voyage.
It's so stupid.
Again, like I used to think that these were like rules, but it's kind of more like Rare's vision for the game, you know?
Yeah, there's no rules in here.
Well, we'll get to their rules in a minute, but it's like what if your crewmate is not making any sense?
You
You
bring
know?
them.
Well, it's not even like you bring them to be like, speak openly and vote. It's like respect their. Well, what if they're like completely wrong? You know?
Then you point it out.
Exactly.
You can't. You have to. If somebody's completely stupid and says something completely asinine, you're not going to be like, "Yeah, I agree with you, but how about this?" No, you're going to be like, "You're dumb. This is how it is."
Yeah, I don't know. Like who they must have been thinking of these rules at some point. I don't know who thought of this rule. Like I could think of some rules right off the bat for to make for a game. This is one of them. Just
Yeah.
seems so obscure to me. I don't know. This is more. So 5 is one that I would say 100%. I would say 99% agree with, which is those who betray their crew and ship through griefing or trolling shall be sent to the brig. Which I think that means like you're gonna get in trouble if you do this. Um, which
Uh, I don't know where they were going with that. Like, are they talking like in-game brig or are they
well,
talking like in community? Like you're gonna just be booted out of the community or Discord you're in? Like,
again, it doesn't say specifically, so it's I guess the way you interpret it. You know, the way I interpret it would be, if you're playing on an open crew or you're playing with a Discord crew or LFG crew, and you decide to drop kegs on them, and sink your own cruise ship because you don't like them, and or you drop their their loot off your own ship, like stuff like that. I think that's what they're referring to. You know,
so they're basically just assuming game wise. I can go with that.
right? Exactly, and that's why I said 99% of the time I would agree with this, except for maybe the 1% where you're playing with your friends and you're unloading a fort and someone runs in to go get
Oh,
stuff and then they get blown up.
I wonder who did that.
So
I
that's
wonder
that's
who
the
the
one
victim of
percent.
that was.
That's the 1% where
Yeah, that's just
trolling.
different.
Yeah, I know, but again, it's they don't specify what they're talking about, and then it doesn't help that they use terminology like "shall be sent to the brig," like "shall be sent" like
They're
in
role
game.
players.
What?
They're role players.
No, well, you can't tell. You can't tell if they're talking like, okay, you'll actually lock them in the brig in game, or like they'll be punished in real life. Like their account will be suspended for 24 hours or something. They don't
Yeah, there's
specify
no,
that.
they don't specify. Funny. Can you imagine?
But
if I blew you up with a keg or vice versa, like you have, and I report you and my account's banned for like 24 hours or your account's banned for 24 hours, it'd be
exactly. Well,
ridiculous.
and that's the other thing. It's like maybe I was wrong about saying 99% because it griefing and trolling. It's like it's very nebulous. It's like well, what is griefing? What is trolling? I mean, I guess it's more clear when you're talking about your own crew, but they don't say you could troll or grief other players that are not in your crew,
That's right. So
So
they allow that.
interesting.
I like that. I actually like that rule now. We'll
Rare's
go
watching
with
right
it.
now and they're like, "Oh, we need to amend it and add Article 8."
Don't grief anybody.
Which you know what? It's surprising though. It's surprising how like this game is all about stealing people and ruining people's days, and yet they have these weird, obscure rules and all this like be respectful and this and that and all right,
Kumbaya. Yeah, I know.
exactly. It's such a strange dynamic to me.
I know it's stupid. Anyways.
Anyways, Article 6. What are your thoughts on this one?
uh,
Oh, you want me to read it off? I'll read. You have it in front of you.
that means I have to sit up. One
May the
sec.
old legends help to forge new ones. Treat new pirates with respect and share your knowledge. Again, it seems more like of a suggestion than an actual code or a rule to me.
Okay, we talked about this before. Like, say we're in an adventure, not so much in an arena because it's no holds barred there. But if we're in adventure and we come across somebody who's hot miking because they're the best to come across, and they legit are like, I'm new, I don't know what I'm doing. Even other people that we play with have said we'll be okay with them. I'm more of lines like maybe I'm more aggressive. I like to attack everybody. I don't like being nice to people on the seas, but some people do. So like I can kind of see that if they're super new, don't know what the heck they're doing,
Yeah,
help them out. I guess
exactly.
it's boring though.
Yeah, it's like it's really I would say it's more like disappointing. Like you'll be on the seas for could be hours. You find no one.
Hmm.
You finally run across a galleon and all you want to do is kill them, right? And it doesn't matter. But then there'll be other days where you've run into a lot of players and then there's this person that looks like they have no idea what they're doing and you want to just be like, all right, there's no point in sinking this guy. I'm not gonna like try and help him. Like the other night, we helped someone finish their order of souls. You know,
You did?
yeah, it was like this completely new-ish looking player, and he was at this island. He had nothing. And we're just like, it's not worth it. So we just killed all the skeletons, gave him his skulls, and we were on our way. And it was like it doesn't happen too often, um but that's just like a little thing, and that's new players. There has been a time when there was this guy who I'm still friends with on Discord, and I don't really see him a lot anymore. But we were trying to steal his Athena's chest. This is before I knew him, and like he was in an open crew, and he open crewed like most of his Athena's voyages, and he was having a real tough time. We kept trying to stow on him. We kept sinking him. We weren't like griefing him. We were just trying to get on his ship and tuck so we could steal. But in the end, he turned out to be like a cool kid, and we helped him out. And um, I don't know what happened. We let him sell the chest in the end. We let him sell it. I don't know if we were in an alliance with him, but I think we did something where we screwed over the rest of his crew because the rest of his crew were just just being were I don't want to say they're being toxic, but they were just like being dumb. They weren't helping him. Um so we rewarded him somehow, but not them. I don't know if we waited till they left the game or something. I don't know. But anyways, it was
You guys
very
probably spawn camp them. Get
yeah,
real.
so they were mad or whatever, but this kid was cool, so we let him have the chest. But again, like even someone on my crew, I won't say who it was, but they were kind of mad that we did that and we let him sell it, you know? But you kind of want to help new players sometimes. I don't know. That's how I feel. It doesn't happen often though. Most of the times, sync on site no matter what because you sometimes you can't give them a chance. You know, you want to get the jump on them. You can't get
100%.
intel and be like, "Oh, is this a person a new player?" No, you just sync them and ask questions later. That's how it normally happens, at least when I'm sailing, you
That's
know.
right. And that's the way it should be.
Yeah,
Because they can
because
always come back.
and you never know what crew you're going to come up against and you're going to be like you're going to bore them and be like, "Hey, what's up?" blah blah blah, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere you get killed and they start launching cannonballs at your ship,
That's right.
right? And that's happened to me before. We'll completely underestimate a crew and all of a sudden we don't know that they're a bunch of PC players that are highly coordinated and it's like, "Oh shoot," like and we underestimated them. We did a double board. Now we're down two players. So I don't know. It just doesn't seem like you don't get the opportunity to help new players that often. I don't know. Anyways, we talked way too much about that rule.
I know. I know
um,
it's dumb.
uh, Article 7. This one cracks me up as well.
Yeah.
Those who cheat shall be punished. Okay, so pirates who show bad form, whatever that means, and cheat their crew cheat their crew or others shall surely face bitter hardships and punishment. Okay, so tell me how you're going to do that if you don't have anti-cheat in your game. Tell me
That's right.
how.
It's just off of hearsay or reports, right?
Yeah, and it's
There's
like and you
no
have to
way
collect
to prove that somebody's
evidence.
cheating.
Exactly. There's no way of knowing. Like there was this guy on YouTube who was like a blatant cheater. He admitted to it. He showcased his cheats. He was pirate legend Athena's 10. Obviously, he didn't show his name when he showed his levels, but he was max level, wasn't banned.
Right.
And it's just like, why? And then we've reported people before that were pretty blatantly cheating, shooting through decks when they weren't on the ship. Like I get like shooting through decks if you're on the ship or you get lucky, but when they're not even close to your ship or they're in the water and they're shooting through your deck and you're on the below deck, like multiple times, and it's obvious that they're not like getting lucky and they're not banned, and you see them later, it's like, all right, well that didn't work at all.
See, I feel like I've never ran into any cheaters. Maybe I have. I don't.
It's not a
I don't
popular
think I've ever
game though.
actually thought somebody would cheat in it.
There's
Cheating
no
in
point.
games for like skill based like shooter games or whatever. People who cheat in those are so pathetic, honestly.
Well, that's
Like, what's
obvious.
the point?
Yeah, but
Like, seriously, what's the point? Why are you even playing the game? Your aimbot's doing the job for you. Just
talent,
uninstall. What?
talent, calm down, calm down.
I'm starting to get pissed. I fucking hate cheaters, dude. And
Talent.
yeah, I swore.
I don't care. The thing is, like this game, I will agree there are not a lot of cheaters in this game for sure.
I just been lucky not to run into them.
Well, I haven't even run into them, and I have like 10 million miles sailed. So it's like I haven't seen any of them. Um, I don't know. And it's like I've played Team Fortress for years. I have like 3,500 hours, and the cheaters in that game, there are just so many. There's so many. They're so obvious.
Right?
You ban them, they come right back. It's a free to play game. And I
Well,
think
and that's the same with Battlefield. They can get free codes online, and like every match you're in that you play, you might have one or two cheaters, and you can deal with that because you're used to that. But like sometimes you get in ones with like 10 cheaters in there. So it's like, I quit that game.
yep. Anyway, so
Let's
that is
move
the
on.
pirate
Making
code.
me angry. Yeah.
Um so that's the pirate code. Why don't we look at so obviously they're like, all right, there's still a lot of toxicity in the community. There's problems, people are complaining, streamers. We need to make new rules. So that nice simple pirate code that they had, now they expanded that into um the community code of conduct. So that's kind of like it's a little bit longer, but if you thought it was going to make more sense, you'd be wrong.
Yeah, it's so
Cuz it
stupid.
makes just as much sense or just as little sense, if not less sense than the pirate code.
This
um
should have almost been our first episode just
no.
because we're going to break it consistently throughout this podcast.
Break what? Oh, the
The
code of
code of
conduct?
conduct.
Yeah, whatever. Listen,
I don't care anymore.
things like this should be able to be criticized, and I don't know. It's whatever, but it's in the game. And again, the thing is, this is going to be a huge theme. This is going to be the theme of this whole code of conduct because it's different in the um it's different from the pirate code because seem like actual rules that you have to follow, and it's not suggestions. But the biggest theme about this is the fact that most of this stuff it's very vague. It's nebulous, and the biggest part is it's hard to how do I say this? It's hard to I don't know. I'll think of it when we get to it. But basically, it's like how do you tell? Like cheating. How do you tell if they're cheating?
You can't.
You know, uh, we'll get into stream sniping. How do you know if they're stream sniping? You
Oof.
can't.
I can't wait for that one. That's my favorite to talk about.
Of course. So we'll get to that. So a lot of it's like, okay, how do you tell? One, um, this stuff is vague and obscure, and how do you stop people from doing it or reporting it or whatever, blah blah blah. So let me just quickly read through, I guess, their little intro. Community is a central focus for us in Sea of Thieves. It's a core concept, blah blah blah. We're proud that Sea of Thieves has brought millions of players together across the world and all walks of
False.
life, blah blah blah. Building a game with our community and hearing their feedback has been very important. That's actually true. Good listening to feedback is good because some games like Team Fortress 2, they do not listen to feedback too much. Our positive community is a testament to our players, blah blah blah. If you haven't already, check out the pirate code that we created with the community back in 2017. Oh, we already did that. Nice. As the game has grown, so has our community and the places we interact with them. Blah blah blah. We wanted to put together a code of conduct that covers our expectations for community. Oh, this is interesting. I didn't even read this. Community behavior, not just in game, but across all our official channels and
Yep.
community spaces.
So basically, what they're saying is if you're an a-hole in game, we'll get you. But if you're also an a-hole on their forums, they can get you.
It seems
You know
that
what I'm
way.
saying? 100%.
But it's like that. All right. Well, it did. Like, what about Twitter? What about YouTube? What about other places that are not official? The Reddit isn't official. Isn't official.
But it says across all our official channels and
Exactly.
community.
But my point
So you
being,
could, yeah,
what about the non-official ones?
they can't touch you.
Exactly. So it's like, what's the point?
That's right.
Um.
And they don't own Twitch, so they can't get us here.
So what does it say? Whether you're a seasoned pirate or someone dipping their toes into Sea of Thieves for the first time, here's how we expect our players to behave. All right. So we have always, and then we have remember, and then we have never. All right.
All right, let's hammer through these.
Yes. So always be respectful. Sea of Thieves is a game for everyone, regardless of age, gender, race, sexuality, nationality, creed, or disability. Treat everyone with respect. You hear that, Talon? Everyone. Diversity only enriches this larger than life pirate community of ours and makes Sea of Thieves world far more interesting to explore when we play with everyone. Or when we play, everyone wins. When we all play, everyone wins. I'm trying not to read multiple things at once. um, again, who is saying that it isn't? Who is saying you can't play this game because of such and such? You can't play this game because your name is Aaron. You know?
Oh.
No one is saying it. No one's saying it.
Nobody said, Aaron, you can't play.
Are you-
But they might be saying, I can't play, which then
Exactly. And guess
that
what?
hurts my
You don't have to
feelings. I'm
listen to
glad this
them.
rule is here.
Yeah, exactly. You say, "Hey, listen, I can play this game. It says it in the code." um so anyways, so again, it's just like the pirate code. It's the same thing. No one's saying you can or cannot. It's like I'm not like going around the seas and saying, "Hey, what's your gender? Are you black?"
That's right.
You know, if so, you can't play this game. It's just like, all right, no one
Nobody's asking those questions.
no one's saying that. Are there people that are racist and sexist in this game? Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
They might not even be racist or sexist. They might just be saying that to get a reaction.
That's
And
true.
if you give them a reaction, they'll keep doing it. So stop giving them a reason by giving reactions for them to keep going, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
If that makes any sense
Um
whatsoever.
no, I was following you a little bit.
A little
Um
little bit.
so I don't know. It's just I don't think there's anyone out there that's really, and again, it's like discrimination. Well, it's like as a player, you can't discriminate against people. I can't be like, You're not allowed here. Get out of my game because you're so and so or you're such and such."
Or you're wearing Athena gear and that stuff is super ugly. Get off my ship.
Listen,
Right?
hey, listen. I work Athena gear for a while and I enjoyed it. Not a
What?
while, maybe a month. Not even.
I never wore it.
Listen,
Actually, I did
when you
once.
worked, I don't know, when you put a lot of work into getting Athena's 10, it's kind of nice wearing it, but then eventually you're like, yeah, no thanks.
It's like the sea dog outfit.
Exactly.
It's
I
good when you first get it, then it's gone.
well, that I didn't even
First
wear
little people.
for
30 seconds.
a day before I got rid of it. Anyways, getting off topic.
Hmm.
Always be welcoming to new players. Again, going back to the code, same thing. How are we supposed to tell who's new? We usually sync on site, you know,
We don't
whatever.
do alliances. So
Uh,
you can't be nice to everybody.
yeah. So
I figured do the action, get sync them first, and then say sorry later if they're
yeah,
new
exactly.
and you
And you
feel
know what
bad.
I like to do? If we sync a crew, if we spawn kill a crew, if we destroy a crew in arena, and they're good sports about it, you know, those are the kinds of crews that I like to not I'm not gonna say help out, but those are the kinds of the crew that I'd be like, wow, these guys are chill,
They're
and
taking it good. They're
right,
joking with it.
and
We've
that's it,
come across lots of people like that. They're great to be around.
right. And if they're not toxic to you, you're not toxic to them, you know. But again, and that'll come up later in another
Hmm.
rule. Be a good sport. If Sea of Thieves is a pirate game and stealth, stealing, and battles are all part of the fun, all pirates on the seas accept that. Be a good sportsman in both victory and loss. Now, this is something I definitely can agree with. Like, if you lose fair and square, you got to accept that, and you got to be a
That's
good
it.
sport about it. Nothing bothers me more when someone's not a good sport, and that
I agree.
goes outside this game. I work with kids a lot, and we'll be playing a game, and if someone gets out, and they're playing a ball game or whatever, and someone gets out and they just throw the ball away or they slam it on the ground. It's like, all right, well, that's not being a good sport. We're trying to play a game here.
And that's the whole point. It is a game. So yeah, nobody likes losing, but having like poor losers around you is a tough pill to swallow.
Right, but it's like it's part of the game. Losing is part of the game, and the thing is, not a lot of people understand this rule, and they go on and say we need PVE servers. Well, doesn't sound like you're being a very good sport because
That's
most
right.
likely you're coming here And you're saying this because you lost and you're not being a good sport about it.
And a lot of times I've always said, I was just like, you can never fully enjoy the wins or successes that you have unless you failed or lost before.
Yep.
So be a good sport about it.
Yep.
I agree with this rule.
I would say so as well, for sure.
So far, that's the only one. I'm stoked.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything. And again, this is if it's fair and square, right? If there's
Right.
things that happen that are not fair and square, which we'll talk about later, then it's a different story. Anyways, so that now we get to this rule: be courteous. So now this rule is kind of interesting in that it's talking about being courteous in a pirate game. Now, I get it. You still, should be nice to people, and we're not pretending to be actual pirates. But I'll just read through this real quick. Don't insult players you don't know. If humor is the intent, remember that this can be lost or misinterpreted online. Words can very easily offend. Be mindful of what you're saying, and if someone asks a question, see if you can help them out as you'd appreciate being helped out if the roles were reversed. Okay, so I don't know what asking a question has to do with this, but I don't know. Like, don't insult players you don't know. Okay, that's pretty straightforward, but what if the person is insulting me or they're insulting my crew? Um, and again, it's like, I don't know. This is where you kind of start to see this whole like care bear thing with rule 1, be respectful, but now you start to see it more here in my opinion, where it's like um, you know if humor is the intent, it can be lost or misinterpreted online, like as if like again I always go to Rust because I played Rust for a little bit, maybe have like 50 hours or 100 hours or something, and like it's nothing compared to this game. It is so toxic. There's
It's
so
bad.
much. It's so much trash talk. All this stuff. It's just like I cannot imagine the the devs had. I forget what the dev team is or the whatever, but I cannot imagine them being like, "Listen, you got to be courteous. You got to don't say mean things to people. Even if you're joking, it's like, all right, you know what? Whatever." And again, it's like this is one of those things where it's like, okay, what is something that is an insult, or what is something that's a joke, what is something that's not, what is something that's courteous, what is it's just like there's no way of really telling.
And in every sport or esport or game, everybody talks smack. It's part of the game. It makes I lost where I was going with that, but you know what I mean? There's always shit talk in every sport or every game. It just makes it more interesting. It makes people more engaged to fight back.
Yeah, and I
I
mean,
mean, unless you're going above the line of saying
well, yeah,
really crazy stuff. I mean, if you're just like, for instance, the big thing to call people is a bot, how is that going to hurt your feelings?
yeah, I mean, I don't know. Well, there's two ways you can go with it. You could say like, oh, you know what? It's part of the game. It's part of especially like a competitive environment. You could also
Yeah.
argue that it um, encourages people to like get better, I guess.
Yep.
But I don't know. I think it is part of the game. If you look at other competitive games, there's a little bit of banter and trash talk, but it's usually not crazy, because you don't want it to be overly toxic, and you don't want it to be um a environment that's not welcoming, I guess. But at the same time, it's like you see it in every competitive game. There's always a little bit of banter here and there, and sometimes it's funny. And I don't think most people or most game communities, they don't get too bent out of shape because someone said something mean whether it was joking or not. I don't know.
And talking shit to other players on a ship sometimes is really fun.
Yeah,
Like,
and
it's
especially,
fun because they usually come back at you.
and I think some people that are the best to talk, quote unquote, trash to. I'm not like a huge trash talker, but people that need that would be people that like accuse you of cheating. Those are the people
Yeah.
that like I will mic spam, and I'll do rolls on
Yeah.
deck laughing. Um, there's certain types of people. Like if they're good sports, I'll usually never BM, never taunt on them and rolls on deck laughing. But if they're like constantly accusing me of cheating, or when I'm using a sword, I used to use sword a lot. I'm probably gonna I go back and forth between sword and double gun. Um, but I don't know. Those are the types of people that they deserve just a little more trash talk than everyone else, in my
I
opinion.
feel like if they give it, they're gonna get it back tenfold.
Yeah, and again, that's
And what's great about that is if I even say one word on the ship, usually their whole team will come after me, which gives my whole crew a chance to talk shit back to them.
yeah. I don't know. We got to get to these rules pretty quick, but
Yeah, let's roll.
that one was an important one. So this one again is somewhat similar. Keep it appropriate. Avoid swearing, Talon, in
Yeah.
unfamiliar company. Unfamiliar. Okay, then you're safe. You're safe. Where
I'm
possible.
That's discrimination because I feel I could say whatever I want to say whenever I want to say it. Because I'm an adult and I want to swear if I want to swear, unless I'm in front of my nieces.
Okay, well you got to listen to the rest of this rule. Maybe you'll be
No,
convinced after you hear the rest of it. Don't post
I'm
anything containing not safe for work material. This has no place in Sea of Thieves or its community spaces.
whatever.
Whatever the community spaces means. And while we have opinions of the world around us, people aren't necessarily playing Sea of Thieves to talk about politics or contentious real world issues. Switch off, escape, and enjoy the freedom of the seas instead. Again,
Some of it makes sense.
some of
Who
it
wants to talk
does.
about politics? Nobody.
Uh,
Hardly ever.
I mean, I've been playing this game since launch, and it's just never really come up. But
No.
but again, it's like, what is community spaces? Does that mean all Sea of Thieves communities? Because I'm sure that there are Sea of Thieves communities out there with, or at least in Discords that have not safe for work channels.
Well,
There's no way.
that's the thing though. It's their official channels. It has nothing to
Well, they
do
didn't
with
say
anything
official
else.
channels in this rule. They
I
didn't
mean,
say
you
it.
have to assume it, right?
It says or it's community spaces.
I would still think it has anything to do with their company
But
if they run it,
they
not
don't run the
like
Reddit.
private
Is
people.
the Reddit a community
True.
space for this game?
No, I don't think they have any say for on there.
Yes, but is
I
it a
don't think they should
they
have any
don't.
say.
They don't. And that's what I'm saying. Is it a I think it's a community space, right? Wouldn't you say it's a community space? Reddit.
Or its community spaces.
Yes.
You
Sea of
know, so
Thieves.
what
The Sea of Thieves or its Reddit, that's Reddit, or its community spaces. Wouldn't you consider the Sea of Thieves subreddit to be a Sea of Thieves community space?
no.
Why
No,
not?
because they don't know they do not own it. They don't own the rights to it.
Okay, but
If they own the rights to it, I feel like that's the only time they can control it
isn't
or
it
have any
I'm
say
not
on it.
saying whether they control it or not. I'm just saying, is it a community space or not?
It is a community space, but not their community space.
But it doesn't say that in the rule. It just says Sea of Thieves or its community spaces. I don't know. It's again, it's vague. It doesn't specify what community spaces is, and that's my point. Because there are
True.
definitely there's definitely not safe for work stuff on the subreddit for sure. You know, there's even it's Reddit. They have not safe for work tags. Anyways, moving along. Unless you had something else to say about that, we got one more thing that you should always do.
Yes, let's keep going.
Remember, kids are playing. Sea of Thieves is home to players of all ages. So keep your posts and conversations appropriate for younger players and families. Me and Talon are thinking of the exact same thing. Uh,
Say it.
no, me and Talon play with younger players, and the younger players we run into, they are more inappropriate than us, to put it lightly. So that's why this rule is just funny to us. It's like, all right, whatever. Um, but again, it's like I think if me and Talon or any of our fellow crew are um, playing in a game and we run across a family, which I have done before, yeah, we're gonna keep it appropriate. Are we still gonna sync them? Yes, and maybe one day I'll put together that video because it's pretty funny, running up on a two brig alliance, and I think it was like a family or something.
It was a
Super
family.
funny. Talon, you weren't there.
No, there's a different. Oh, I'm thinking of a different one
You're thinking
when
of when
we're
we role played as a
fishing.
family.
Oh yes.
um, that was
Oh
funny.
gosh, that
That
person believed it. How
that should be a
dumb.
video. I gotta find that footage. Anyways,
Like, man, your kid's super toxic, and I'm
yeah.
like, I like him that way. Oh my god.
Are you talking to my son like that?
Yeah.
So good, so good.
I
Anyways,
know.
so that's all the things that you always should do. Not just sometimes, always should do.
Mhm.
So now we got three things that you should remember in case you forgot. Sea of Thieves is a game. Games are meant to be fun. If you become angry or frustrated, take a break. Don't be rash and act out on your anger in a way that could ruin the experience for others and lead to a report being filed against you. What do you think about this rule?
I think it's absolute garbage.
Okay.
Why would you like if you get angry? Like, what are they talking about? They're actually telling people to file a report against you. Really?
No, I think what they're
Why?
saying is they're saying don't, if you get mad, just remember that it's a game
Well, of
and don't
course.
say anything that could get you banned. That's what they're saying.
Okay, I agree with it.
Yeah, okay. You seem like disappointed. You're like, "Oh, I have to agree
I
with
just
it."
think that if they encourage people to be reported against, that drives me crazy. Stop making people when they say, let's handle our beefs on the waves, but report them next second, right? That's annoying.
Um, yeah, I would say
Yeah.
I don't know. It's they're not encouraging people to report, but it is true. Like even people we've played with, they definitely can say stuff sometimes that um they said in the heat of the moment and they probably shouldn't have said. And I can agree with that as well because I don't want people saying stuff in my crew uh because again, if you're playing with someone that's being super toxic and saying inappropriate things, I could also get in trouble if I'm in the same crew with them. Um
Yeah, I agree with that.
so
We've actually had a situation similar to that that we're taking care of, and I think it's going to be fine. But yeah, people, if you're playing with somebody that's extremely toxic or rude or whatever, it's going to look badly on yourself as well.
yeah, for sure.
But you shouldn't get the report if you're not doing anything. It should
Yeah,
be
you shouldn't really get in trouble, and I don't know. And that's like been a big debate, at least in our communities. If there's someone toxic in your community, should you let them stay? If you let them stay, are you kind of like, what's the word, enabling them? I don't know. I guess that's a different discussion, but I would
right.
say I would agree with this rule, if you will, code. Who knows what any of this stuff is?
It's all rubbish. They did.
um,
They took it out of a HR book and just added Sea of Thieves splashes all over the place.
I would like to see if someone watching this could help me out here and post a code of conduct for a game that's anywhere close to this. If you could find
Good luck.
anything similar to it, I would really like to take a look at that because I haven't played too many games um, in my life. I guess, online games. But I haven't seen anything like this as far as a code of conduct. You know.
I go looking at the next one. I'm just like I laugh a little bit because
Oh
I was like,
yeah.
there's no other code of conduct in the world that has the word prostitution in it.
Well, this one,
Just
yeah.
saying.
Moving right along, this one is
Yeah.
probably one of the funniest out of
Yeah.
all of them. Sea of Thieves is a fantasy. It is not a historical depiction of piracy from any real world place or time period. I almost can't get through this because I'm about to laugh. We will not
Yeah.
abide arguments in favor of such things as slavery or prostitution. If that's the game you want, you're in the wrong place. Now, the problem with this is they are making the assumption that there are people out there that are looking for a pirate game that depicts real pirates. Like, listen, I'm looking for a pirate game. Oh, there's Sea of Thieves. Is it realistic? I'm looking for a really realistic pirate game where there's slavery, human trafficking, and prostitution, and we get to rape people. I'm looking for that, and then Rare's just like, nope, sorry, we don't have that here. Where are those people that are looking for that type of game? Like, I don't understand. Like, where are they? Where are these people?
Most
No,
of them are on Grand Theft Auto, so
I
have
don't
fun
know.
with that.
And that's a whole nother argument. Slavery is one thing. Like,
Oh my god.
for there to be someone out there that's like, I want slavery in a game, or for there to be a dev out there that's like, all right, let's put slavery in our game. For you would have to be insane. Like, there's got to be something wrong with you. When it comes to prostitution, though, prostitution, well, whether you like it or not, there is a strong argument for. I know this is getting off topic, but there is a strong argument for why it should be legal and why people should be free to do what they want. I know certain places in America, it's legal, and it's a very strong, like, I guess, libertarian argument, if you will, where people should be free to do whatever they want. If they want to
That's right.
do, if they want to sell their body, you know, that's up to them. And if they're willing, that's up to them. And they're not being exploited, it's up to them. Um, so that's a whole nother argument, but you could see where the Sea of Thieves devs are right now. Prostitution,
I just
never.
have no idea why this was even put in there. Like, I
That's
know,
yeah, exactly.
well, I kind of know why it was put in there because during some of people's appeals for bans, they put in there, I'm a pirate, you know,
Yeah.
this is what pirates do. So they had to put something so extreme in there
Okay.
to be like, this isn't really
Right. So I yeah, that's
uh,
actually true. I didn't
a
think
pirate
about
game.
that. If there's someone that's like, listen, it's just a pirate game, I
Yeah.
I said all this racist stuff because it's realistic. No, it is a fantasy game. And I guess it's important that um Rare points this out, but
To
it's
put
still
that
super
much in
funny.
it, though, like,
Yeah, and they take it so seriously as well. I don't know, it's just funny to me. This one's just kind of obvious, I guess. Things you
I think it's
post.
dumb.
Which one? The next one?
Yeah, it's obvious. It's obvious. Don't
Yeah.
post your real personal information online.
Talon.
What?
um,
Shut up.
I'm just kidding. Talon's never done that. Again, I don't understand what this means. I have disclosed real life personal information on my stream. I put my name out there, not my full name, I guess, but I don't know. It's whatever. It's obvious. You shouldn't be sharing any personal information, because there's people out there that are like that want to do you harm, I guess. But it's whatever. Blah, blah, blah. So
This
now
is so big. There's so
we're getting
many.
there. We're getting there. We got a bunch more. We'll breeze through them. We did our always, we did our remember, and now we have our never. All right. So now
It
we're
should only have one thing there. But anyways.
now we're getting serious. All right. So, like, always remember to do this. Remember to do this, but never do
But
this.
it's also a repeat of everything they said above.
Uh,
Like it's just a little bit more detail, but like this never the first one, the discrimination. It's the exact thing they said right at the very beginning.
That's true.
Very
That
exact
is true.
same.
Well, they even say it as stated previously.
Like, why do you have to repeat yourself?
And well, this one is, I guess, a little bit different, but it's like, I guess prejudice of any kind is totally unacceptable. All right, whatever. I mean, again,
Agreed.
how you're gonna police this? No clue. Unless you're very vocal about it, there's no way to police this.
That's right.
Um, but again, it's like, I guess it's true. You know, you shouldn't be making. I mean, I don't know. Well, we gotta move on. But we've already talked
Yeah,
about this
let's
so
move
much.
on.
We've
It's
talked
so
about
dumb.
this in Rule 1. We talked about this in the Pirate Code. It's like, we get it. We get it. We get it. We get it. Never harass, bully, intimidate, or man, I cannot read. Harass, bully,
Okay.
intimidate, threaten, or encourage others to do harm. None of these behaviors will be tolerated. Any activity you engage in that is solely designed to target and upset another player or crew constitutes bullying. Repeated activity designed to ruin the experience of another player or crew constitute. Did I just repeat myself? No. Harassment. Okay, harassment. Not only do we take these things very seriously, spoiler alert, they don't. Many law enforcement agencies recognize online abuse as offense. Uh, spoiler alert, they don't. If necessary, we will report incidents to the relevant authorities to take further action. Holy smokes. Listen, if someone's threatening your life, yeah, maybe you should report that to Rare, and Rare should say something to the authorities. If someone's bullying you or harassing you, guess what? You can scuttle, you could switch servers, you can mute them. There you go. What else do we need to say?
That's it.
Seriously. And again, the exception of someone that's maybe following you, they go to your Discord, then you block them on Discord, then they go to your Twitter, and then they're actually harassing you. That's a different story. Like in real life, not just in the game. But if it's just in game, just leave the game, just scuttle, just mute them. It's not that hard.
That's right.
And that goes beyond just this game. You could say that for Twitter. Like, oh my gosh, this person's just block them. Just block them or mute them. Whatever. I don't know. I don't really use Twitter too much. Links down below. Um, don't share anything illegal. If it's illegal in real life, it has no place in the community. Discussing or distributing banned content, copyrighted material, anything related to drugs, black market goods will not be
Oh my
tolerated in our
God.
spaces. Again, what? Who
It's
is
a
doing
copy and
this?
paste.
Who is going around being like, "Hey, listen, I got some of this, I got some of that, like, I'm selling it." Like what? Who is going around a gaming community like doing that? I don't know.
Nobody.
It's just like,
They need a whole revamp of their whole code of conduct to take out all the duplications of everything that's in here and the irrelevant stuff that's in here.
yeah, for sure. They're probably not going to change it, because it's like, if they take it out, if they take out the don't share anything illegal rule, then it's like, oh, so we can share illegal stuff now. It's like, uh,
Sweet.
that's what
Okay, everybody meet in the Thieves Tavern. I got this and that to sell.
I don't know.
Plus prostitutions.
Yeah, if they get rid of that,
Prostitutes.
if they get rid of that
Yeah,
rule, then
gosh.
I guess they think that people are going to be like, oh, all right, well, prostitution's okay now, slavery okay.
It's okay.
It's
It's all
like,
okay.
it's not in your game to begin with. Why are you talking about it?
That's right.
There's no slavery faction, you know. There's no prostitution ring in Sea of Thieves anywhere in
There
the
could be
tavern.
that we don't know about. Something's going on in the
I mean,
dark side of the seas.
maybe there's some serious role players out there that
Yeah,
we
there
don't
could
know about.
be. Role playing. It's not good for your health.
um, yeah. Too funny. Too funny. All right. We're getting there. We're getting there. Don't share anything illegal. Don't cheat or hack. We have a zero tolerance. Duh. Of course, they don't want you to cheat or hack. Do you think there's anyone out there that's like reading this rule and saying, "Oh shoot, you know what? In the code of conduct, it says that we shouldn't cheat or hack. You know what? They're right. I'm not going to do it."
That's
Sorry,
right.
what? It seems like most games. I don't know how it is about Battlefield. I don't even know if you read
It's
their code of
terrible.
conduct. No, I'm talking about their like codes and stuff and their rules. Do games even bother saying this kind of thing? Like, do they really do that?
I mean, there it is in there. I barely read any code of conduct for this matter. Like I just don't care. But there is things in other games that says cheating party programs and all this stuff is a bannable offense, but they never follow through with it. So
Well,
it's
and
hard to
that's another
say.
thing. It's like, yeah, I get that. You know what? They probably have to put it, even though it seems obvious. They probably have to put it so because there's probably players out there that say, "Hey, listen, you didn't say I couldn't do it, so I did it." You know. But at the same time, it's like you have no anti cheat. Like, what do you? And you barely follow through with reports, as we've stated earlier. You know. You can barely follow through with reports. Listen, you Talon said that she hasn't made reports. I have made reports against certain people. And I'm not going to say reports. I've made one report against a person and it was pretty obvious. I have shadow play. I recorded everything and it wasn't cheating. They said some very inappropriate things. They were never banned. It's just like, all right, well, you could see what it seemed obvious to me. And it's just like if you can't follow through with something like that obvious, how are you ever, or, if you can't follow through with, yeah, something that's that obvious, you'll never be able to ban someone for cheating, especially because that's not as obvious. Um, I don't know.
And this is like the second time I think they had it in their rule, so it's really repetitive.
Yep. Again, repetitive. Data mine content is also prohibited from our channels as it can ruin future game updates for players who have no wish to be exposed to incomplete or out of context information. I so
I
that's
agree
only
with that. I do agree with that because that does happen in many games.
yeah, but it's only prohibited from our channels. It's not necessarily prohibited.
Oh, just the data mine content, like people actually taking stuff from like insiders or
That's not
even
data
before it
mined
gets
though.
into
That's not data
insiders.
mined. That's not data mined.
Oh, okay. That's
I
how I figured
I
it
I
was.
to be perfectly honest, I don't know how stuff is data mined, but I think this is like a fairly new. Again, the code of conduct is fairly new, I guess. But I remember when there was like data mine like Discord channels that you could just look in and see everything that's been data mined. And this is going way back. I remember like first looking in one of these channels. Again, these channels I can't find them anymore. I don't think they exist because of these rules. But they had data mined stuff like the rose set. Whatever it's called. What is it? It's the wild rose set, like the
Mm.
clothing set. That was data mined ages ago, like 2018.
Well, so what are you saying? Like data mined is like somebody's finding out the content before it's released? Is that what you're
Yeah, they're
meaning? Because
finding
that's
it
what I was
like
kind of saying.
they're finding it in the game files.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's what I was talking about.
you don't think that people should be allowed to post that anywhere?
I don't think you should be able to post that. I don't think people should be exposed to it either. I kind of agree with that a little bit. Because
I would
honestly, if
say so
people aren't
too.
doing insiders, they might not want to see, they want to be surprised when the update comes.
That's true. That's
You
definitely
know,
true. I mean, um, but again, it's like I don't know. I guess you can't share it. I don't know how data mining works, but like even on the Reddit today, there was these guys that glitched through this wall. I'm not gonna say where it was, but they glitched through this wall in this tall tale area and they
mm.
found a brand new area. And
Oh,
this
wow.
is something I just saw today. They found a brand new area, uh, and it's talking about. I don't even want to say what it's talking about, but it's unreleased. Um, I'm not gonna say if it was on Insider or not, but it's in the main build, and they managed to somehow get in this certain room, and they put it on Reddit. That's not really data mining. I don't know.
No, that data
It
mining's
was
more like the
definitely exposing to
background.
people, and it was a little bit of a spoiler of what's to come. So I don't know.
That's different. That's
I
almost
that was
Rare's
just something
fault
that
for
I
not
found interesting.
buttoning
But
up that
it's not really
thing.
data mining, but
Yeah.
it was definitely exposing people to incomplete or out of context information for sure. And if you want to see it, Talon, I could send it to you later. But I don't
Yeah,
know
I
if
want to see
I'm
it.
allowed to even share it because
No,
it was
don't.
definitely something I've never seen before, and I wasn't about to just be like, well,
Hey
talk
guys,
about it,
look at
especially
this.
because Rare definitely doesn't want to see doesn't want people seeing it yet. So it was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Cheat or hack. I don't know if
We
data
already
mine's
did that.
hacking. I guess that falls under whatever. Don't advertise, spam, troll, or engage in witch hunts. Okay, that's a lot right there. There are areas in our official forums and on verified Discord server that you can advertise your own
Hmm.
community groups. Just ask if you don't know where to find them. Other kinds of advertising are not appropriate. Any form of spamming should be avoided. Trolling, baiting, witch hunts are also acceptable. If you have some evidence of that, you think our customer support team should be able to help. Blah blah blah. Take action. All right, whatever. I have nothing to say about this. I mean,
Me
yeah,
neither. Let's just
I
pretend
guess
it
I
doesn't
agree with
exist.
all
It's
of it.
all dumb.
I
Really?
don't know how you feel about it.
I mean, it's obvious. It's common sense knowledge. You don't need to put that there.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they're putting it there
Period.
because they have to, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know.
It's just common sense. We have nothing to say on that.
Yep. So that is it. That is all the rules that we're going to talk about.
No, it's not. No, it's
Valid.
not.
What?
Scroll the
Is there
frick
another
down
rule
there.
that I missed?
There's one more rule.
Are you
Don't even
sure?
play dumb. Now you're trolling me. Should I
No,
report
don't
you
report me. Don't
for
report me.
trolling? My first report, I probably end up deleting my account if I did that.
What is
This
this
is my
rule?
favorite topic, by the way.
Uh-oh, this is gonna get us in some hot water.
Stream sniping or stream snipe.
Don't stream snipe.
It's bad for your health. Just don't do it. It can get you banned, especially if you hit the wrong person. Should I stop now?
I'll let you continue. Why don't I read it first?
Go ahead and read
Streamers
it.
of all sizes. So all sizes. Fat, skinny, all sizes.
That's discrimination.
I don't know why they had to put that in there.
I don't know. It's there though.
Of all sizes have played a major part in Sea of Thieves' story so far. All right, I'll give them that. And we love seeing our players share their stories with others. The act of stream sniping can ruin the experience, really. Not only for
Yeah.
the streamers, but the streamers who are playing, but for all their viewers.
Oh,
Wait, now this is important.
the word
Repeated
repeated.
stream sniping is deemed to be harassment and punishable as appropriate.
That's right. So stop stream sniping these poor innocent streamers who don't go on the back ends of discords to report people for not stream sniping, but when they report them, they're banned. I'm bitter. Your turn. I
So,
hate
well,
that shit.
this will probably be another episode at some point,
Ugh.
maybe. Um, I think it probably will be. It's an interesting topic to talk about because it gets people going.
It was like the first one it's what I wanted to talk about our very first episode.
Yes, but we didn't want to start the episode off like that. We got to get it
Ugh.
into the episodes first. But anyways, so again, going back to this, first of all, remember what I said at the beginning of this. There is no way to tell. There's zero way to tell if they're watching the stream, right?
Correct.
And it seems like I've kind of changed my opinion on this. There's actually I used to think that stream sniping just watching the stream. But stream sniping also could be just getting in the person's game, according to definitions I found on Google. Just getting into their game can be considered stream sniping. The problem is there's no way to tell if they are purposefully trying to go for the streamer. There's no way to tell, really. Now, if you do it repeatedly, that's a different story. But again, there are it's this is they consider harassment. Again, as I said before, it's something that's avoidable. You mute them, you switch servers, you're done. No questions. Like it should seem simple. Um, like if you're getting repeatedly harassed, I almost want to say it's your fault as a streamer.
100%.
Um, Maybe with the exception of maybe like arena where lobbies are not as populated. Um, so, but again, if you're getting it's almost I would say in a lot of cases, it's your own fault. You know.
You're putting your game out there for other people to watch. You're putting your gameplay out there. You're putting your location out there in the game you're playing. People are gonna find you. It's just how it is.
Yeah,
It should
and
not be a bannable offense. It should never be in the code of conduct. What other game has stream snipe in their code of conduct
yep.
as being bad? Nobody. No game ever.
And I know we talked about this recently, but it's one of those things where I forget what I was gonna say. It just like before I said all this, there was three themes, and the third one was that there's no way to tell. You know, there's really no way to tell unless the person is harassing the streamer, and they're saying, "Oh, I hate your
And jumping in
stream."
their chat.
Yeah, talking in their chat, which again, even then doesn't prove anything because it could be a different person, as we've experienced before. Um, so there's really no way to tell. Um,
And the worst part about it is now that they have the creators crew or whatever, lots of people are streaming. So you can get into stream after stream after stream in every mostly arena. This is the best way to prove it or
yeah,
not prove it. Even adventure. So you can be in this person's stream, then you do another arena. You're going to be in these two people's streams. Like, does that mean if you're not streaming, you're vulnerable to be banned because you're not a streamer, but you're in all these people's streams?
right. And it's like another thing is like, what if you're helping? What if you're stream sniping them and you're helping them? Like, what if I've had this happen before where
I've seen this.
we've we've come across and like maybe not even streamers but like people in arena that help each other out or people will help streamers out like and I'm not saying that's a problem but I'm saying like is that allowed you know I don't know
Question mark. It's
question
still a
mark
snipe if you go in just to be happy
yeah you're still going in their stream and you use their stream to get in their server or whatever
because you
um
like them or whatever.
Yeah, so it's I don't know, there's and if you watch some of the older Sea of Thieves um like live streams, there's always people in their game that are like trying to be nice and they're technically stream sniping, I don't know. But it's a whole thing of it can ruin the experience. So it's not saying it always does. Again, you could either be helping them or what if you just sync them? What if you just straight up just sync the person? Is that
Well, you'll get banned if you're on a certain streamer stream or
Well,
threatened to be banned.
that's my whole point. It's like, what if you're just simply you just sync them? Is that going to ruin the experience for the viewer? Is it going to ruin the experience for the streamer? When I get sunk, it doesn't.
Yeah, it would, I think. It would though, because the streamer thinks that not all streamers, but a lot of streamers think that they're the greatest thing out there. And the second that they lose, their whole chat goes crazy to back the streamer up. So they get angry. The streamer gets angry. Reports happen.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's
I
like,
mean, it's pretty bad actually. That should never be in there.
yeah. Well, and again, it's like, well, if I get sunk, it's it shouldn't. I shouldn't. Again, you should be a good sport, which is another rule. You should be a good sport. I try to be a good
Right?
sport, but if I'm um not being a good sport and I'm saying, "Oh, they're cheating or they're watching my stream."
That's a
Uh
bad sport.
Yeah, unless they're legitimately like um there is evidence that they actually are watching the stream, which funny enough has actually happened to me before where I was
Mhm.
streaming, we were doing a bunch of Athena's voyages, and I had the Reaper's mark on, and we did get stream sniped by someone that we knew, and they uploaded a video after of their perspective, and they were saying things that they never would have known unless they were watching my stream. And I also saw them in my chat. So like there's still little things like sprinkled that are like a little evidence that you could tell if they're watching the stream or not. But most of the time that doesn't happen. Most of the time you don't have the enemy, the stream snipers, quote unquote stream snipers perspective, or most of the time they're not in your chat, most likely. So again,
Most definitely not always in there.
it's hard to tell.
Smart ones aren't.
Yeah. Anywho's, so that is all. That's it, I think. We'll probably and these will probably come up again because maybe not as serious or maybe just as jokes, but this is not the last time you'll see about this. But the funny thing is, it's like when I've played the game so long, it's like this part right here is where it's like, all right, this doesn't make sense. Where they say we take our community code of conduct seriously. We'll take action on accounts that we determine have breached the code of conduct. Blah blah blah. Account actions can be warnings, suspensions to permanent account termination. It's like, all right, well you say that, but I reported people that are blatantly using the N word or whatever, and they don't get banned. It's like, all right, well, I guess you don't take actions, and that seems like a breach to me. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Um, but yeah, that's everything as far as um the code of conduct goes. I don't know if you had any other thoughts.
No, I mean, up until a couple days ago, that's actually the first time I read it. Other than the end part when they first added stream sniping to their code of conduct. So I never really read it before. And the second I read it, I was just like, they need to revamp it immediately with somebody who's a little bit smarter and doesn't take it out of some random HR book. Because a lot of it has nothing to do with the game.
It has nothing to do with the game. Some of it is vague, and some of it you can't even tell if this person is cheating, if they're stream sniping. So it's like you could have all these rules you want, but if I guess the point is if there's no way that if they're breaking the rules, then how are you supposed to punish people if there's no like again if there's no way to tell? I don't know.
But like I said, there's a few rules in there that I agree with, but I mean they're common sense rules, but
Right, there's a couple that
they
in
need to
there
revamp it.
that there's a couple that are in there that are like, that makes sense, and there are people out there that could actually learn from that, like the one about being a good sport. I think there are
Right.
a lot of people in this game that are not good sports. You look at the Reddit, you look at people in game that are just, that are not being good sports. They can definitely learn from the pirate code. But there are not plenty of people in the game that want prostitution, you know, that and
That's discrimination.
again, even if there are people that do, it's like they're not gonna. If there is someone that legitimately like was role playing that or whatever, they're not gonna read the code of conduct and be like, "Oh shoot, we can't do this,
Oh
guys, anymore."
dang.
But I highly doubt there's anyone doing that. But
I don't think so.
all silliness.
But you never know, you never know.
I mean,
There's some messed up people out there.
the rule must be there for some reason,
Right.
But anyways, how long have we been live? I wonder.
Long time.
Long time, long time,
Long time.
time. This is a song.
I don't even know how long.
Pretty far away.
Long time.
I should be able to look probably.
Let's just end it here. Then I'll tell you.
There's a loop.
Ooh. Oh man, we've been live for an hour and 20. Okay.
Oh gosh.
So anyways, We appreciate you guys watching the stream. If you're watching on YouTube,
Oh my god.
YouTube, appreciate you watching us on YouTube.
Turn the ship if you can
Um,
towards it.
yeah, so we're again, we're trying to do this
Seriously.
weekly. It seems like it's working out, which is good. My schedule is pretty open. Talon seems to be. Again, uh, same thing we said last week. We want to hear your thoughts, your feedback, to make the stream and the podcast and the YouTube videos, um, all that better. Um, so tell us what you think. Give us some ideas. Give us some topics. Uh, Shoot a message to your favorite streamer, your favorite YouTuber. Tell them to come on the podcast, um, and we'll take them in, no matter who they are. Well, it depends. uh,
it, it definitely depends.
we're pretty open to who we have on the stream. I think my point being, like, we're not gonna have some no-name streamer. Maybe.
Actually, you know what? I'd rather have no name streamers than ones that think they're popular.
I would love to talk to a popular one and be like, and call them out on certain things. That'll be interesting,
Really? Actually, that would be interesting. You
right?
should probably try and get a hold of her. I mean,
Her,
uh,
Y-
whichever.
whichever, they them.
They, them. No gender. No
Exactly.
gender specific. That actually would be really interesting.
Yeah, I mean,
There's no way that would ever happen, though.
I don't know. You gotta wait till we get a little bit more of an audience, a little bit more of a reach, which hopefully we will get. But we
Perhaps.
will only get there with a great audience like you guys. So we appreciate you watching. If you feel like sharing it, I think we're gonna share this one. We're a little bit more proud of this episode. We're gonna share this one better because we improved it a lot. So we're gonna share it around. But don't be afraid to leave a like and subscribe, as they say. But thanks for sticking around with us. This was a little bit of a longer episode. We next time we gotta have a timer or something to try and keep track of time.
100%.
But anyways, we appreciate you watching, and we shall see you on the next episode.
Peace.
Catch you later.